What is up, YouTube? This is Alex here from Team Generations, back again with another commentated match video today. I'm playing Eradicators on the left-hand side, joined by my buddy Devin.
How you doing, guys?
On the right, he's playing Angels, so I figured this is a rather long video. Might as well just like commentate it, kind of go through some of the finer points throughout the video itself, see where our heads are kind of at, what optimal plays we should have been doing at the time, and just kind of go through it with us. So yeah, let's jump right in. So it looks like I am going first for this turn. I'm going to ride Mighty Bolt Dragoon first, search that top 5, draw obviously for the ride. So Mighty Bolt's good because we are only running 8 grade 3s in here, and you kind of have a specific ride chain that you want to go through. So yeah, it looks like I'm getting that Gauntlet Buster first, so I definitely want to go into that first, just in general. Typically turn after turn. After that, it's kind of up to you. Do you want to ride like another Descendant over for your second ride, or your third grade 3 ride, whatever the case may be. If you want to go back to that Gauntlet Buster. So, and it does look like I am dumping the Phoenix here, so that is a good one. I can bind something, get that right back out, so I'm not like hard negging the same way. And let's see, anything else I'm going to do? Nope, it's passing over to Devin.
Okay, so it seems that I rode Nakir first. I know I had a lesser in hand and a Zophiel, but I figured I probably wanted to see if I can get that grade 3. I was probably looking for a Hamiel. I probably only had Gabrielle in my hand. And I do get the Hamiel because you want to make sure you have that for your grade 3 so you can be aggressive right in the beginning.
Yeah, honestly, that's like a crazy combo when you have just like Hamiel, depending on, RNG off the top, but you get an insane column and you're not really restricted behind a grade 3, kind of like your opponent needs to be on grade 3, right?
No, yeah, there's no restrictions. The only big restriction is the fact that you do need 3 counterblast for that card. So you can get damage denied, but if you do get it, it can make for a very aggressive grade 3 turn. That's why, at least in this deck, I run the Holy Seraph Nociel at a 3 of. Because if you do get damage denied, you want to have that in your hand so you can give yourself that third damage and get your turn off.
It looks like I just took damage for that. Damaged out a, what is that? That's one of the new grade 2s. That is the Raised Dragon, Spark Raised Dragon. Over to me, so I am going to ride one of these guys. These guys are actually a really nice grade 2 ride. Kind of makes it a bit more aggressive just because when it's placed, you actually do get +5. So like I kind of went over in my deck profile, I'll link that in the description. But you can't just drop a quick shield if your opponent's on like, unless they're a Force grade 2 and you're going second, they can't just drop a quick shield to make it a 1 to pass, which is really nice. So plus you get to search the top 5 for any Eradicator, I think. Yeah. And I think here I wanted to kind of make sure you stayed under 3 damage again, because I know Hamiel can go off with that. So I'm just going to swing with 1, see if I can put anything on the board.
And of course I'll take it because I need the damage. Okay. So I'm going to start my turn. I love being a slow player. I got to take my time thinking about it. But I am going to ride Jafkiel. Jafkiel is really good because it lets you set up more of an aggressive turn. If you have anything of value in your drop zone, right off your first damage, you can take it out and put it back in your hand. And you get that +3 for a little extra pressure. Let's see. I believe I do go for a super aggressive turn here. I believe I will do the Salafiel. But I will also... Okay, so what I'm planning on doing here is I'm pulling the lesser out of my drop zone and placing it behind my Vanguard for a little extra power. I think I will use its effect, but we'll see. I do drop the Salafiel. Yep. Cell Boss 1. Want to get that extra +10 and get the rescue check. There we go. And I believe I will put the lesser into Soul to basically get back that cost from Salafiel.
So it almost pays its own cost, right? Like in general, because what do you Soul Blast for that, or you Counter Blast for?
What's great about Salafiel is that it's one of 2 cards. So with Zophiel and Salafiel, they don't require Counter Blast. The deck is really Counter Blast heavy. Yeah. So those cards allow you to, let's say you do get damage denied, you can get your engine going off those 2 cards. So
looking at it from like a bird's eye view, I mean, the deck is super Counter Blast heavy, but then when you actually look at your turns, you're rescue checking a ton, so you're just kind of inherently countercharging, which is something I didn't initially think of. I don't know why when I was first facing it, but definitely is nice in that regard.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to hope that they don't damage deny you, and basically stop you from having that one counterblast you need to get your combo going. But it's almost like all the cards almost have no cost, because once you start rescue checking everything, assuming that you're counter charging, you're rescue checking your cards that you actually counterblasted, then you're pretty much going to refund that cost almost every single time.
I've definitely noticed that. It's hard even keeping you at 2, just because you can no-seal to get that 3rd, which is really nice.
Yeah, so you kind of like you'll purposely take away your own aggression just for me to basically be able to get my own turn off no matter what you do. So
how much is this attacking for? You got the rescue check on there, so it has an additional crit, I believe.
It has a crit. It has the +3 from the effect, and Selfiel has the +10. And I believe that I was not able to do anything with the other ones.
Wow, yeah, and I hit 2 triggers on that defensive turn, so triggers are tough. Kind of shut down almost the rest of it. Do you swing with the
I don't believe I swung because you got +20 on that one, so I wasn't able to swing on anything
Even
else.
if it doesn't hit, you can't put it in the soul or something?
No, that's all it does.
Okay. Alright, so it looks like, it did go into Gauntlet Buster first. Going to get Excel 2 off that. Pretty much always go in Excel 2 here. If you guys are interested too, there's our custom little markers I filled in. I'll link that video in the description as well, just a little tutorial on how to make them. Did I draw off that Excel 2? Not 100% sure, but so it looks like I did pop down A's V10. So I do run a couple of these guys in the deck. They are still useful for when situations like this. So for example, I just bound 2 of his cards, so I get an additional +10, and I move that other guy up.
I didn't use the skill. Seems like I did not use a skill. Whoops.
And then I call down, this is one of the new grade 2s also. This is, Lightning Whip Eradicator Suhil. He's really good too because it doesn't cost a counterblast or anything. So you can kind of bind a card almost for free. You drop a card and you draw a card. So a little bit of a filter, which is not bad, especially if you have a Phoenix in your hand. So this guy looks like it's got an additional 15. So that's 5, that's 20. This is 29, I think. I think the main goal here is to really get them to 2 damage. That way, if they are forced to take a Gauntlet Buster attack, I'm attacking for 3 critical overall. If they're at 2 and they say, alright, I'll take it, you're kind of rolling the dice. You're saying, alright, if I hit a crit, I win the game. If I don't, I just gave you a bunch of counterblasts. But I think I attacked incorrectly here. I'm going to put that V10 in soul to draw another card because I am on Gauntlet Buster. Yeah, I think I should have attacked with the Lightning Whip Eradicator next, but did not do that. Looks like I do heal out, which is pretty nice.
One thing that hurt a little bit was watching that lesser go into the bind zone. That was a misplay by me of not pulling its effect off.
Yeah, I think I was playing premium there, triple trove, but I put that to the bottom of the deck by accident.
Draft damage check. That's 2 triggers. That was +20, so I believe he wasn't able to swing with his last.
No, definitely not. Yeah, I should have hit you. I should have tried to get you to 2 damage before I swung with Gauntlet.
So I believe I'm going to ride into Gabrielle here. Yep. So I'm probably just contemplating what exactly I want to do. Obviously, grab my protect marker. I'm probably trying to think about what exactly I want to pull out of my drop zone, put into my drop zone, and what I want to put on the bottom of my deck. I do drop Rafa Regel first, and let's see, what did I grab? I grabbed Zafiel so that I could. I discard a card from my hand, return a card from a damage zone to my hand, and I get that free rescue check. No cost besides the discard. But it kind of evens out because you're putting a card into your hand from the damage zone, so it's kind of just a cycle. Okay, so I guess I wanted to switch it up a little bit.
Yeah, and again, these are casual games, so we let each other. We're just learning the decks. I think this was on release weekend we were playing these, so just kind of casuals. We allow this kind of stuff. Obviously, in tournament play, this would not be
acceptable.
Legal, so.
But here comes the Hamiel, exactly what we were trying to do before. I do have the cost ready to go. I don't remember. Well, I guess we'll see in a second. if I hit those drive checks. Okay, nothing there.
And that was the first rescue check, right?
Yep. So I believe this is Gavriel's skill.
So over and over, it's like just your main goal really is to just rescue check over and over and get as powerful as you can, close out the game.
The big to do with the deck is to you want to get Hamiel on the field, be able to pop off her skill. So you got the plus 15 in the crit right there. So you're already swinging for 27 to crit, which is kind of threatening on its own. And then you want to just keep rescue checking and then drop as much of your triggers on her as possible. And since it's a no sentinel attack, they have to just take it. Sometimes if you only run crits in the deck, so if you hit a trigger, you're gonna get the crit. And so you could be swinging for up to 4 or 5 crit, depending on how many times you rescue check. If you decide to swing with your Vanguard first, you can get crits off of that. So you can be swinging for game on one attack on your first grade 3 ride with one attack. Forget the rest.
It looks like you did hit 2 here. I think there's 2 criticals.
I believe I hit 1.
You hit 1, yeah. And her skill inherently gives you an extra, right?
Yeah, it gives me that extra crit.
So I am at 2 damage, and not in a crazy bad position at all here. I think I am gonna take some damage and just see if I can kind of get some defensive triggers. I'm not 100% sure what I did, but it's kind of my mindset right now. Like if I was in this game right now, I would just...
So here I am, I'm playing Lesser. With Lesser, when you get that plus 5, you want to try to move it into those magic numbers where it makes a very awkward guard, especially for Hamiel, where if they can guard it, they have to drop a lot of cards out of hand.
So let's see, this is pretty decently big Hamiel overall. I think I'm going to try to guard everything else and then just take the Hamiel, see what happens here, also with the drive checks, but it's kind of my mindset right now. Let's see if you ever swing. So he's not threatening game with his Hamiel yet, so he's not going to swing with that first. Let's see, he does hit a critical. He's going to put that on the Hamiel because she does have that Sentinel Restrict, which is really, really nice. So it looks like I just took 1 damage. I am actually running one of those guys. That's the Plasma Catapult Dragon, I think. So just damage that out.
So I was swinging for 35 plus 15, 50, 67, I believe it was. Or maybe a little more. Let's see. It's 35.
This was 3 crit, so I think I had to guard this one. I had quite a bit of shield in my hand.
Yeah, he had a lot of shield in hand at that time.
20.
I remember.
Yeah, that's 30. That's 50. T plus 10, 60, and then was that 65 plus the 12?
I think you got to 72. I think that was your guard.
Something like that. But I guarded that out, so I am living another day. So he did threaten game with that Hamiel. So I had to do what I had to do.
And just finish out the turn with another attack. And I got a trigger out of his deck, so that was good at the time.
Alright, looks like I am riding into Descendant here. This is always kind of the ride chain you want to go for, that Gauntlet Buster first, and then Descendant second. Descendant inherits all the skills of Gauntlet Buster then, so it makes it pretty powerful. Let's see, so I am going to, I think, Soul Blast one there, and then bind using Descendant skill. Yep, and then with that bind, I can get my Phoenixes out. I think I saved them for this turn. I think I had 1 in the drop zone previously. And they get that extra +3, which is really nice.
That's a you may skill, right?
You don't have to, yeah. Okay. You don't have to, I don't believe. Let's see, I do get the Mighty Bolt. Looks like I get another Gauntlet Buster to my hand. Let's see if I decide to keep it or not. Because this is my biggest issue with the deck. Sometimes you ride into Descendant, and then you have both in your hand the next turn. Do you want to go back to a slower Gauntlet Buster, or do you want to go into a Descendant again and just kind of do like an Overlord to cross, kind of like 3 attacks, but your last one won't have a drive check, unfortunately. So I don't know. Sometimes I'm kind of up in the air. Been playing it out, been trying to test different things, but let's see what we get here. Trying to see my hand, can't really see. I don't remember off the top what I really had. Okay, so this is just the top 5 searcher for any Eradicator. This is Isolation Eradicator. Nusku, I believe it is? Yeah. What did I get there? I'm going to discard them, the Gauntlet Buster. So yeah, I think I'm kind of trying to close this game out for sure on this turn. There we go, just cutting. Right now, not a super threatening board. I think I'm going to try to just, go into it now. Okay, yeah. So I do pop the Eradicator Suhail down. I'm going to discard a card and bind a card. Or maybe not. Again, these are just friendly games. We allow each other to kind of do take-backs and whatnot. Oh yeah, okay, I am going to toss it down.
There's the bind.
Yep. Discard from my hand, draw a card. Discard a Descendant. So yeah, I think I'm really trying to go all out aggro this turn, really close out the game as much as I can. Okay, I'm going to do another top 5. Just trying to deck thin, I think, get triggers in hand. I mean, with drive checks. No Eradicators there, unfortunate.
At least with the, what I noticed I think it's a little underrated is that on top of the fact that you're trying to deck thin, you do get, like, let's say when you top 5 and if you don't see any triggers in there, this is maybe just hypothetical, I'm not sure if you did it right there, but if you don't see any triggers in your top 5, it gives you that free shuffle to basically try to get some triggers up into the top 2.
Completely chance, but sometimes a reroll of the die is all you need.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's see, so I'm going to swing with Descendant first, and again, this inherits Gauntlet Buster skill, so I think this is just a 22k, and it looks like you are dropping that Sentinel crit there.
Sentinel crit.
Yeah. I'm going to give the power and draw to my Vanguard. And then I'm going to discard a card then, that 5k shield, restand him, and I'm going to swing again. Now this actually becomes, I believe it's 22, 10, this is 35, this is 45k attack.
Yeah, so the hardest part is trying to get that. It's not so much the numbers that are the issue when I'm facing this deck. It's the amount of attacks and sitting at a high damage, especially with Gavrail in particular. You're not running any heals, so once you kind of get to that critical point, you really want to start closing the game out. If you hit 4 or 5, you want to try to really close out that game that turn, because unless you have a nice hand going into the kill turn on their end, it's probably not going to look too good for you, especially against a Narukami matchup, or any kind of retire board clear matchup. If they start getting rid of your sentinels, your intercepts on your rear guards, that's like 10 shield that you really wish you might have going in. Like I said, no heals is no bueno sometimes, but it's necessary to get the plays off if you don't want to heal out that Hamiel damage or else. Speaking of,
I think I just healed right there on my drive check. I'm gonna give that extra power to the Whip Eradicator, Lightning Whip Eradicator Suhail. So now he went from a 19 to, I believe, 29. You just guarded that attack. I think I'm poking small here because I'm not putting game on. Alright, so he does hit a defensive trigger there. So let's see. I don't think I can close out now. So this deck is really susceptible to defensive triggers. I mean, outside of Gauntlet Buster, you're not really getting a lot of power elsewhere. This Suhail definitely helps, but that's really the only card that does that. Any kind of significant, like, get over a trigger kind of number. So yeah, I pass it over to him. This is not a kill turn for me. And let's see what he has in store then. So he only has 2 counterblasts here, so not a huge deal in this deck. Again, you just kind of counterblast, remove things from your damage zone, put things back in. So doing a bunch of rescue checks, you can always countercharge yourself.
I don't believe I can rewrite here. I think I do. No, I don't. Okay, so the biggest problem right here is I can't rewrite and get a free protect marker. And I probably just don't have a lot in hand. It's really the weight of, do I have enough in hand to kill him this turn with no Hamiel? And that's kind of like the big problem is without Hamiel to give you that crucial pressure. You're really not threatening too much, especially if they still have like 6 cards in hand and you're not, you're only swinging with Vanguard and some rear guards. You're gonna lose that pressure, and it's not gonna be too threatening. They're most likely gonna guard very conservatively, and then basically kill you next turn because, or rather not conservatively, they're going to probably take some damage and then probably shut down some of your attacks because if they get even one defensive trigger, they're probably going to not have to even worry about guarding. So I think that's what happens here is that I was contemplating if I had enough, try to get some rescue checks off, try to get some triggers going to give myself a little more power, a little more threat. Especially, if you're trying to get the extra crits off, that's what I needed. I needed a kill swing in order to get anything going, but unfortunately...
Yeah, because I didn't have a particularly large hand. I feel like if you hit at least one more trigger here, I probably couldn't have really guarded this out at all.
I don't remember what the drive checks are, but if I did have one more rescue check, I would have been swinging for 3 crit on the Gavrail with drive checks. So I don't know what I hit after this, but definitely would have been a much more threatening swing.
I don't think I have a PG in hand either, too.
Because right now I believe I'm sitting at the +1 crit. I haven't activated her passive yet. Let's see if I totally misplay that, but I don't think I do. Let's see. Activates Seraphil's ability. As you can probably see in the other ones, the damages right there, I have not been hitting any triggers at all. And there we go, there's one. And I do give it to my Vanguard. Okay.
But I am sitting at 3 damage here, so I think I could take like one of these double crit attacks. Maybe not the Vanguard, but we'll see.
That might have been my mistake there. I gave the effects to the Seraphil, trying to make it more threatening. I probably should have left it on the Gavrail and made it extremely threatening for game.
Yeah, because I think if you right now you're at 2 crit or no, just 1 crit extra, so
yeah.
You could swing, not hit a trigger, and then I can live. Whereas if you gave that crit, I think that would be threatening for game. I think we're just reviewing the power columns here too. It's always important to ask your opponent. I mean, never feel like embarrassed that you don't know a skill or something like that. I mean, there's been plenty of like shop tournaments or whatever it is that like I've gone to. I'm just like, oh, again, just explain 100% what does this do, because a million different Bermuda cards. Sometimes I forget, for example, but
yeah, I don't think I hit a trigger there.
Nah, no trigger.
I don't know what other card you have in hand, but I'm wondering if you would have been able to guard that.
There was a heal in my hands.
Okay, so you probably...
There was something else.
You would have dumped your hand... Actually, thinking about it, if that was the heal was your last card, you probably would have had dumped it if I put the trigger on. But at the same...
I did have a PG, I think. Yeah, I PG'd the first one, and then, yeah, I just guarded that, and I took this one, the 2 crit.
Yeah, and... Yep. So, yeah, I wasn't able to finish him off this turn. I was almost there. I got a few triggers off the rescue checks, but without if I had Hamiel out there, I probably would have.
Yeah, I don't think I could have survived a Hamiel.
So I whiffed on the OTK in the previous turn, and you can still do things with Gabrielle with the deck, depending on it. Really, at that point, it becomes RNG. You facilitate all of your skills and hope to God that you hit some triggers along the way, but. The deck can still do things because you do so many rescue checks in one turn that the power will most likely come. And if you don't, then you just had a bad day.
It happens. Vanguard is Vanguard. So it looks like I Soul Blasted one for Descendant skill, and I retired. What was that card?
So it's Sellafield.
Sellafield?
Yeah.
Okay.
Black mapping Sellafield.
All right. So he's at 5. So every attack is lethal at this point.
I have like almost no cards in hand, just because, I was.
I know that I knew at this point too that you drove check at least a Hamiel, so that was at least one dead card in your hand, kind of. So it looks like this is a 1 to pass. No pass there. I'm going to discard Descendant from my hand to restand him. And counterblast also. There we go. Alright,
Sentinel.
Sentinel, so I don't think that's a pass. Does look like I get a heal trigger, so it's not too bad overall. Where am I going to place this power? Yeah, I think he's already stacked up because he gets that extra 5 for being on that additional Excel circle. And then on top of that, so this becomes, instead of a 19, it becomes 29. So even if you do hit a trigger, you know, to heal out 6 damage, this will at least still threaten for something.
And there's the 6 damage. I had nothing left to guard with, so that's GG.
I think looking back, the big mistake that I did was I didn't get you to 2 damage before I swung with my Gauntlet Buster. I swung when you were still at 1, so I wasn't really threatening game that much. Was there any like big call outs that you kind of had throughout the game?
I think I played it as best as I could. The biggest problem with Gavrail is that you're really relying on that RNG if you don't have Hamiel out. So I was kind of just at the mercy of my own drive checks, of my own rescue checks at that point. So the Hamiel turn, I wasn't able to close you out, and you just happened to have a lot of shield in hand at that one moment. So it was just kind of unfortunate.
Yeah, overall a good game. Again, a little bit longer, so just wanted to do a little bit of commentary. Let us know if you like any of this commentary. I know not the greatest in the world, but just trying to do something a little bit different. And if you guys did enjoy this video, learned anything new from it, I would ask that you please consider just possibly hitting that subscribe button, maybe checking out the channel, leaving a like on it. And this is Alex and
Devin
from Team Generations signing out.